Hello and welcome to Hybrid Addiction Toolbox series. Now, today's tool is all about Awfulizing Club. So I call it the Ain't It Awful Club. So have you ever thought about in your life that you belong to this club? You're complaining, never looking on the bright side of life, and always going into the crowd of people that are complaining or blaming others. For example, the government, school system, immigration, and so on. So those feelings that you're going into is awfulizing. So you're awfulizing, you're making the situation or the event really horrific. Or you're complaining about life with a crowd of people, with a group of people. For example, you're complaining about your boss, you're at the water cooler and you're complaining. Now this, to do with addictions, is we're sitting in that pool of addiction because we're blaming others for our own addiction. For example, our parents, our bosses, our wife, our spouses. So we have an argument with our boss or our wife or our loved one, whatever situation we're in, and we start to blame them for what they had said or done. So those create those urges because we get angry, we get sad, we get disappointed, and isn't that awful? That was a terrible day. Boy, that person in the traffic cut me off. So that's awfulizing the situation, the event. So if you create a massive change around that event, those situations in your life, you start to shift the way you think, and your thoughts really start to shift and change. Then your behavior starts to really change. I have all these work processes you go through. You change your vocabulary, and the same as awfulizing. So if you think differently about the situation or the event or the happening, and you really stop the awfulizing of that situation, you start to shift and change. And basically those urges, they disappear. Because those events, we're awfulizing those events, and we can create change. So there's steps and processes you can go. You can start doing, thinking differently when an event happens. You don't have to awfulize things. You can join a different club. There is a different club. There's the Wonderful Club. There's the Positive Club. Yes, there is positive and negative in this world. And there's positive and negative in every aspect of life. But how do you deal with that without being awfulizing, without complaining, without blaming? Ask yourself why these situations are happening. Do an ABC. Before you start to, you're complaining or awfulizing your life. Because you go into that hole, means into the addictions and awfulizing and everything's terrible. I can never stop drinking. I can never stop doing my drugs, whatever DOC it is for you. You start to shift and change your life. I know it works because I was one of those people that was in that awful club. Until I realized and faced it and accepted I was in that club. So it's your choice to create massive change and get out of that awful club. So I hope this tip has really helped you create massive change in your life so you can create the path that you've always wanted and live the life that you've always desired. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye for now.